Hi guys, it's Irene and it is Sunday, the 8th of March, and I have been thinking a lot about work. I'm about to start my job search again because I know that my current job that I'm consulting at, they are going to be looking for a permanent person and I don't really want that job. So I need to start searching for a job again. And my birthday is this week. And so I've been working for over 30 years and I really have been thinking a lot about work, my work and what I do, and watching my daughter go to school and thinking about her career. And I was thinking about things I wish I'd known when I was her age about work. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What I would tell my 20-year-old self about work if I could talk to her today. So, my daughter is Gen Z, and Gen Z has built a reputation for pushing back on current work norms, such as poor work life balance, questioning unnecessary office mandates, and demanding a pay that covers your cost of living. And to be quite honest, they are not wrong. As a mother of a Gen Zer, I started work in the early 90s, and when I started working, I could say a lot of the same things that we do today. I started working at Midas. It was my first job. I think I was 18 or 19 when I started working. I started working a little bit later than most of the people I know. And I started working at Midas, which is a car repair place, or was a car repair place. I don't even know if they exist anymore, not in New York. But it was a car repair place and I was a receptionist. I started at, and eventually I got promoted to assistant manager. And the things that went on there as a woman, being surrounded by men in a male dominated industry, the behaviors, the comments, those things that were brushed off back then would never be allowed today and definitely would be cause for a lawsuit, for sure. Over the past 30 years, I've worked at multiple companies within multiple industries. And while progress has been made, there is still a lot of room for improvement. What I have learned, however, is that you can build a career that supports a life that doesn't trap you in a box, put you in a corner, or become your entire identity. Some of these lessons cost me money, some of them cost me energy and my peace, but mostly they cost me time. So if I can save you some time in your career, this is going to be for you. I'm going to be sharing things from mindset to creating boundaries to even when to plan for your retirement. So ready? Let's go. I remember early in my career, I had a job that I focused on obsessively, learning every detail and mastering every aspect of it. I even mentored new staff on not only their tasks, but their attitude and how to, do proper customer service, to be great at customer service. And I love that job, and I had become a subject matter expert at it. But after a year, I had to give notice because I was moving back to New York City because this job was upstate New York. And my manager, I have to say, didn't take it well. She really liked me. We got along great. And she literally begged me to stay. She said she would adopt me and that I would be able to go to the local college for free. Her husband worked at the local college. So that was, the joke that she would adopt me and I could go to college for free. She said she'd also promote me to assistant manager, and said to me once that you do this job better than anyone who I've had working for me. That reputation of consistently doing my job very well is what created that leverage for me. So if I wanted to stay, I could have had a better title, making more money, and other things. And that's what that leverage does, is it creates promotions, raises, or opportunities for company awards. Now, of course, there are no guarantees. Layoffs happen all the time. However, in that instance, being an expert can help you get excellent references, maybe a recommendation for a different role at the same company, or a recommendation for a role at a different company. That word of mouth can really ensure your pocketbook for sure. So being excellent at what you're paid to do, that's key. So tip number one is do what you're paid to do and do it extremely well. Tip number 2 is don't take on more work just to prove yourself. I have made this mistake so many times, guys. Early in my career, I thought the way to stand out was to raise my hand for everything. Extra projects? Sure. New initiatives? Absolutely. Someone else is overwhelmed? I'll take on some of that work for them. I repeatedly came up with ideas that often save the company money or time. And I truly believe that being that go-to person would automatically translate into promotions, raises, and recognition of some kind. But instead, those ideas were simply added to my current workload. So what happened was, suddenly I wasn't doing just my job. I was doing the job of creating new systems that I suggested. I was creating new processes. I was doing the extra project that I volunteered for. Sure, I learned new skills, yeah, but did it make me more capable employee? Absolutely. But here's the hard truth. Companies don't always reward people who go above and beyond for free. If you're not careful, what could happen is you become indispensable in your current role and not promotable out of it. Extra work can be powerful if it's strategic, though. If it aligns to where you want to go in your career, if it builds skills you can leverage later, if it comes with extra visibility or advancement, that's awesome. But overcompensating to prove your worth, that usually leads to burnout, not growth. So now I ask myself, and I suggest you do the same. Is this new work aligned with the direction I want to take my career? Or am I trying to prove that I deserve to be here? Tip number 3 is focus on transferable skills. Here's something I didn't think about when I was younger. Job titles change, industries shift, companies restructure, but transferable skills will travel with you wherever you go. Things like communication, leadership, problem solving, strategic thinking, project management. Those are all skills that will work wherever you go. At one of my earlier roles at a magazine, I was directly involved in facility management while working on a major project. At the time, I wasn't aware I was gaining skills as a project manager. However, when it came time to look for another role in an interview applauded my project management experience, it dawned on me that yes, those skills were valuable in many different ways to many different companies. So then I was able to add project management to my resume. Tip number 4 is always keep learning. Learning does not end when you leave school. Once you're in the workforce, the people who grow are usually the ones who continue their education one way or another. For me, I make it a point to learn something new every year. I take courses in various institutions. I will try things like marketing, strategy, technology, whatever feels close to the world, to where the world is heading. I look at the jobs I want, see what knowledge and skills they are looking for, and try to find ways to add that to my skill set. None of it was ever required at whatever current role I had. No manager ever asked me to do it. But time and time again, a skill I picked up on my own quietly became the bridge to my next opportunity. A course I took out of interest turned into credibility. A concept I studied after work became the reason I was considered for a role I hadn't imagined myself in yet. That's the power of continuous learning. It expands your options before you even know you need them. So read, take courses, stay curious. The more you learn, the more future-proof you become. Tip number 5 is be willing to pivot. Change is hard, especially when you feel like you should have your career figured out. I left a role I really liked back in 2022 after being there nearly 7 years. The people were wonderful. It was a great organization, but the money wasn't there. I was struggling financially. So I went and took a job at a completely new industry where I earned 25% more and took on an entirely new role. Was it scary? Absolutely. Was it worth it? 100%. Tip number 6 is start saving with your first paycheck. This, guys, is super important. Even if it's just 10% of your paycheck, start now. Start today. If you haven't started, start right this second. I can't stress this enough. Savings gives you options. Options give you freedom. With money saved, you can leave a toxic job, survive layoffs, and pivot without panicking. Your goal should be to build an emergency fund of at least 6 months of your living expenses. And once you can do that, you'll have a lot more peace of mind. And when that boss that you can't stand calls you out your name, you will have the confidence to walk out of there at any given time. Number 7 is in the same vein as number 6, and that's to decide when you want to retire and plan accordingly. Now, this is something that almost no one in their 20s thinks about. I know I certainly didn't. In your 20s, you're focused on getting the job, getting promoted, paying rent, paying off your loans. Retirement feels like something that's so far away, like something for future you to worry about. But when my daughter was applying to college, I made a point to talk to her about this early. Not in a scary way, not in a pressure-filled way, but just in a practical conversation. Because here's the question we rarely ask. When do you actually want to stop working? Not when does society say you should retire, not when Social Security kicks in. When do you want the option to walk away from the workforce? Do you want to work until 65, 55, or maybe you want to fully retire very early at 40? Or maybe you never fully want to retire. You just want the freedom to choose. Because once you decide what enough looks like, everything else changes. You will start looking at your paycheck differently. Saving isn't just what's left over, it becomes non-negotiable. Investing becomes a strategy, not an afterthought. Negotiating salary feels more important because every increase compounds over decades. You also start choosing jobs differently. Maybe you prioritize companies with strong retirement benefits. Maybe you take roles that build higher income skills earlier. Or maybe you avoid lifestyle inflation because you're playing a longer game. When you don't have a target, you drift. When you have a target, you design. So reverse engineer your career around the freedom you want. If you want the option to retire at 55, what would that require? If you want flexibility at 50, what needs to happen in your 30s? The earlier you think about it, the more power you have. Because retirement isn't just about stopping work. It's about having the option to choose. Okay, tip number 8 is do not stay at toxic environments. I didn't know it at the time, but the job I took after I left the company I loved in 2022 turned out to be the worst environment I've ever worked in. To say it was toxic is an understatement. I knew 6 months in it wasn't going to work. However, as an old head, I said to myself, I need to stay for at least 1 year. 1 year turned into 2, 2 turned into 3, and I was laid off just after my 3rd anniversary. I stayed in that toxic place way longer than I should have. The nepotism, the lying, the disrespect, none of it was worth what I was earning, even though I was making the most money I have ever made in my life. It was still not worth how I felt knowing I had to go into that office every day. I wasted years of energy and confidence. Remember, no paycheck is worth your mental health. If your workplace disrespects you, undermines you, or normalizes chaos, start planning your exit immediately. Immediately. Okay, this is a big one because I think too many people make this mistake. Number 9, your coworkers are not your friends. Your coworkers are not your friends. This might sound harsh, but it's important. Some coworkers will become real lifelong friends. That can absolutely happen. But work is a professional environment first. In your 20s especially, it's easy to blur the line. You bond over stress, grab drinks after work, vent about leadership, and it feels safe. And sometimes it is, but the workplace has different rules. Promotions get competitive. Restructuring happens. Information you may not have wanted shared gets spread. Oversharing about your frustrations, your personal life, or your employer can quietly shape how people see you. And not everyone who listens has your best interests at heart. So yes, be friendly, yes, be collaborative, and yes, be warm. But always stay professional. You can build strong relationships without sharing everything. Protect your reputation, protect your growth. If a true friendship forms and lasts beyond the workplace, that's a huge bonus. But your career deserves boundaries. Tip number 10 is do not make work your identity. Let me say it again. Do not make work your identity. Your job is what you do. It's not who you are. When work becomes your identity, criticism feels personal. Layoffs feel like rejection, and burnout feels like failure. You are more than your title. You are more than that damn paycheck. You are more than a windowless cubicle. Protect your hobbies, protect your relationships, protect the life you have outside of the office. Tip number 11 is boundaries are not a career limiter. When you're in your 20s, you're ambitious, and it's easy to think that the people who succeed are the ones who stay the latest, respond to the emails at midnight, and answer the phone while on vacation. But leaving on time doesn't make you lazy, and saying no does not make you difficult. There's a big difference between being committed and being constantly available. When you're always accessible, always saying yes, always stretching yourself thin, you're not showing dedication. You're training people to expect unlimited access to you. Let me say it again. You are training people to expect unlimited access to you. And that's not a promotion strategy. That is a burnout strategy for sure. The people who last, the ones who build steady upward careers, understand pacing. They protect their time. They communicate expectations. They deliver high quality work within reasonable limits. Tip number 12 is simple. Confidence changes everything. Stop assuming everyone else is more qualified than you. Your skills plus confidence change how people respond to you. Practice it daily by speaking up, taking risks, and standing up straight in diverse spaces. You deserve to be there. Please remember that. 13 is if you have a specific career goal in mind, find a mentor. Stop guessing your way through your career. Find someone who already has the role you want and is willing to share their journey. Then become their best student. They'll tell you what skills matter, what to prioritize, and what to ignore. Mentorships can shorten your learning curve and save you years. And it can help with the next and my final piece of advice. Tip number 14 is networking is not optional. Good work alone doesn't always speak for itself. Relationships help move careers. Reach out, stay visible, maintain connections, and help others when you can. Think of your network as career insurance and start building it now. So those are the tips I have for my younger self. And if you're just starting out in your career or you're about to graduate college or high school at class of 2026, these are tips that you should really take with you and carry along with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see more like this, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. See you next week. Bye.